Hello folks, welcome back to the channel and thank you very much for joining me once again. Today, something completely different. We are going to be looking at the Hawker Seahawk, one of those early 1950s generation, early jets, which were, you know, if you look at the sort of basic design of the aircraft, there's a whole raft of aircraft that look quite similar, especially around the air intakes for the jet engine. You got the Hunter and the DH-101 and what's the other one, the Swift and the Swallow and all these planes. This is the Seahawk, and this is from one of these low volume manufacturers. You might call them a cottage industry manufacturer called Classic Airframes, made in the Czech Republic, and it's their kit number 465. Doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on the outside, but quite nice artwork, I thought. And for those of you that probably can't guess, looks very much to me like this is the Seahawk from the Royal Navy is flying over the Suez Canal. Luckily in this particular picture we don't have any super tankers or transport ships blocking it by mistake like we had recently. Ever Given, Evergreen, whatever they're called. Anyway, let's have a look inside. Now this is not going to be like a Tamiya, you know, it's not a shake and bake kit. It'll probably be something a little bit more basic, I think. So we've got to bear that in mind. Manage the expectations a bit, see what we've got. So let's just have a look. It looks to be like there's some extras included, which I don't know if those are standard or not. I think they are standard. Okay. So, being a sort of low volume manufacturer, it might be quite interesting. It's not one I've ever sort of reviewed before, so let's have a look. Quite a small bag. Be careful here, they're delicate looking on the springs. Gentle, gentle, gentle. That's very gentle with that one, that looks like it's meant to come off. Okay, this seems to be all in one bag. And we've got the canopy not attached to the outer of this clear spring for some reason. And we have a spare piece that's broad on its own there. Anyway, where to start? I think as usual we'll start with the instructions of the decals like I normally do. But I'll start with the decal, that's my preferred way in really, because it's visual, isn't it? Oh wow, I've got to say that my initial impression is very positive indeed. Look at these. These are nice decals, aren't they? Who's done this? Classic Airframes done their own decals. We have got here Czech Republic option, obviously they bought the aircraft, Royal Navy, two options there. In the case of the Royal Navy it's got like a pelican design, is that right? Yep. They've got a pelican or like a tiger. And then the Czech Republic one you've got this like ace of spades. But those are quite nice looking decals, very bright aren't they, very crisp looking. Not excessive with the carrier film really, very nice, lovely colours, very nice. And then there's a second sheet here where we've got sort of stripes and the code numbers. And again, they look really nice, they look well printed, very sharp, brightly coloured, not too much carrier film, quite nice those, yeah, like it. That's very good. Then we have got their instructions, which I don't think are going to be very extensive. So, here's a bit of history. Obviously Sydney Cam from Hawker's designed this aircraft and they're using the Neen engine, which of course is the engine that was in the Meteor, I think I'm right in saying? Meteor. And what was the other plane? Was it the Whittle aircraft had it in? It was Whittle's design, I think, the Neen engine basically, wasn't it? Rolls-Royce Neen, or Bristol. And sure enough it says that it was flown the Suez Crisis in 1956, so I was right about the picture at the front. And then inside we have got a sprue tree, which is quite good for something of this type. And strangely we've got a slightly Great Wall Hobby-esque separate sheets coming out for no apparent reason. And it shows how to build up your instruments and then your internal canopy, sorry, the cockpit I should say, internal cockpit. The walls, all the instruments at the side, how to build up your seat belt. I think that's a photo etched seat belt, yes it is. And then you've got, reminding you to add some nose weight, which is very important there. And it's 10 grams. And looks quite good, this does. I think it's all exceeding my expectations. I had low expectations and I think that it's going to be a bit of a pleasant surprise. So you Be sure to dry fit the alignment of the parts during the assembly of all parts, so that's a good bit of advice. Something that I'm not always very good at, if I'm honest. I'm too used to Tamiya. I just slap it together and throw some glue at it and it's done, you know. Doesn't work with some of these. You need to be careful. So you put in your cockpit in, then you put in the top and bottom clamshell together, and you've got your jet engine exhaust there sticking out the back, and then you've got the two different versions of the tail, slightly different shape between the FGA6 or the Mark 101, which I think is the Czech one. You've got your wings going on the outside. They haven't really got any spars, have they? I'm not sure how well that's going to go together. Tells you about the alignment and how it should look though. And it's a little bit like the American. The head-on shot looks like American Panther slightly, doesn't it? Interesting. Then you've got your internal, if you're having the wings folded, then you've got your internal structure to be shown, which I think it would look quite good with the wings folded. And then we've got the front gear going in, the main gear, and your doors, and we've got some drop tanks. Oh yeah, drop tanks, and then you put your canopy on, and that's kind of it really. And there's a fair bit of PE in here, so you've got a nice colour call-out sheet here which shows the decal positions as well. Painting and marking guide. So you've got, well, you've got four versions. So you've got the Cons Marine from the Czech Republic. Cons Marine from the Czech Republic. Am I right, or is this Holland? I always get this mixed up. It looks, or is it Dutch? Might be a bit thick here. West Germany. Netherlands. Yeah, I've done it again because it's mainly the Czech Republic. I thought it was Czech Republic. It's not. It's the Netherlands, of course. Sorry to you people in Holland. I didn't mean to offend anybody. It's just the colours. So it's the Dutch Navy, Royal Navy, and you've got three variants of the Royal Navy, including the one that's got the stripes on it. So you've got HMS Ark Royal, HMS Albion, or HMS Eagle. Very nicely done. That's quite good. I'm quite impressed. Right, let's have a look at the plastic then. We'll start off with the clear part because it's off and I want to protect it and get it away as quickly as possible. So let's have a look. Here we have it. It's actually quite nicely formed, that. It's not the most perfect in terms of distortion free, but the clarity's good. It's nice quality of plastic to it. Can't really fault that, to be honest. What it is, I think that's very good. We'll pop that over there. Then we have got a load of what looks to me like resin parts. Now, were these mentioned? I think what they do, these guys, I think they build resin. Yeah, they build resin as part of the actual kit. So here we've got the entire cockpit in resin, which looks pretty cool. Obviously, you've got to cut off the base. Remember, when you cut the base off, you must use water or a respirator mask. And when you're cutting resin, deadly carcinogenic dust comes off it, so please be careful if you're using resin. One of the reasons I don't tend to be the biggest fan of resin. It just doesn't suit me. Here we have the ejector seat, all moulded in one, and that looks nice. Looks quite a big seat, doesn't it? Width-wise, you know. So obviously we're talking 48 scale here, aren't we? Then we have got the back end of the where the tailpipes come out, here and here, two of those, which is very nicely shaped. And then we've got your sort of, could call it the main spar almost, but it's also the wheel well bays for the undercarriage there. And then we've got this detail for the inside of the structure of the wings when they fold up. And now look at this. Some of this is really cool. They've got the stick, control stick, yoke. That's very nicely done, all in resin. Very, very good. And then we have got the gear, wheels and tyres, and the exhausts on the same sprue there, and the exhaust pipe for the jet engine. And then we have the little, rather oddly shaped, it has to be said, I'm not sure that's right. Something slightly strange about the proportions of this one. That's the nose wheel tyre. And just one or two little ancillary pieces here. And another one of those wheel and jet exhausts. So I'll put that back in its bag. Very carefully. It's good that you get resin though. Just as I say, be careful when you are handling this stuff. Caution is essential. So if I'm just going to little bits of resin that are flaked off there, those rolled up. And we need to be careful. Very, very careful with that. And okay, that out of the way. So that's that and that done. So let's get into the grey plastic. Oh, we've got some photo etch. There's a masking set of some description, I think. Sorry, I'm finding this a little bit of a challenge. Here we go. Oh yeah, so what you got here, you got this internal structure for the end of the wing when it folds, or when a wing splits, I should say. Instrument panel here, and you've got various other little bits, including these very nice looking belts. Those are really well done. Look at that. Oh, that's superb, the belt. Very fine. And one or two other bits of instrumentation and ancillary parts there. So, finally, plastic. Grey plastic. Got a little rogue piece that's off the sprue here. Not sure why. Yeah, put that in the bag so it's safe. Then, carefully lift this. We've got the main sprue. And we have the top here, of course, sort of hold the front of the aircraft. Now this is actually nicely done. Some good detail. It's as good if not better than the Models Fit one we talked about, the TU-22. It's a little bit broken off the sprue here, can you see that? It seems very delicately attached. You have to be very gentle because the other piece feels like it might be going the same way. That's actually separated there. So there's that, and we've got a couple of pylons, we've got the tail plane there, top of the tail, and of course we've got the underside. And again on the underside, the detail is excellent. It's very fine engraved panel lines, some hatches, all that kind of stuff. I'll pop that there very gently. Then we've got the wings. And here they are. Top and bottom of the wings. It's a very simple sort of style of going together. They've got some, I don't think those are intended to be joining points, and this is more like an ejector pin system that they've got here. Can you see that? They're a bit, they need to be filed down, I think, to be honest. I don't think you want to get those to touch each other. I think we're going to be into a bit of trouble if they do. So that could prevent a good joint. So you need to go around and remove all these. There's 1, 2, 3 on each surface. So get those removed, file them off. And then we've got these drop tanks. A little bit flashy around here, but not so bad on the part itself. And then last but not least, the tail. It did say in the instruction that there were 2 tails, but there's only actually 1 in the kit. So obviously that's perhaps an all-encompassing instruction that covers other optional kits. Looks nicely shaped, I have to say. It looks nice, actually. Panel lining is very subtle, so you don't have to put too much paint down. But it's got a nice, pleasant finish to it as well. Plastic's quite hard, and again it's got these protruding ejector pin points, which you probably, I've just run my fingers over them. I think they're okay, but this one seems a bit extreme there. I don't want to just file that down, otherwise it might start you getting a good joint. But it's all right. It's okay. So what do we think? Interesting kit. It's not my personal thing, only because I am lazy. I like things to be easy. But most of you are proper enthusiasts who are prepared to put a bit more work in than I am. So actually I quite like that. It's kind of got some character about it. I like the finish. I think the plastic finish and the feel of the plastic is a bit nicer than we saw on that Models Fit TU-22, which I had, I wasn't so keen on it. It didn't feel like a quality plastic injection moulding job to me. But I quite like that. So I'm going to give this 7.5 out of 10. I mean, obviously you've got some issues with 1 or 2 bits that need to be modified or a little bit of clean-up required, but it's a rare subject, so you've got to give them credit. I'm going to give them 8 out of 10. I think I quite like it actually. So I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 in the end, and say if you want a Seahawk, and it's quite an attractive aircraft, the Seahawk really. Obviously carrier-based Royal Navy plane, and you saw it sold to other governments as well, so it was sold around the world. So quite an interesting plane, and from an interesting time in aviation. 8 out of 10. Anyway, hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up. And if you haven't joined the channel already as a subscriber, please do so, because you'll find, if you enjoyed this, I thought it was interesting, you'll find an absolute wealth of other stuff that I'm sure you'll enjoy. Lots of reviews, especially Matchbox, also lots of Airfix and things like that, Tamiya. If you are a subscriber and you're already on board, then don't forget to ding the notification bell, because that'll give you early warning about the next upcoming review. And in the meantime, that only remains for me to say thank you for joining me. I hope you'll look after yourselves and stay safe. Please look out for the next review that will be coming up very soon, and don't hesitate to comment at the bottom what you thought of this one, or any other information you've got that you think might be pertinent for the aircraft or the model. Always welcome comments, as long as they're polite, even if I've made a mistake, which I often do. Don't mind that at all. People correct me and I've made a blunder. It's always useful to know and sort of log it for future use. But in the meantime, thanks very much, stay safe, and until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye for now.